Hi, welcome back to MW Reborn Nursery. Today I wanted to shoot a quick video of how I changed the inside stuffing and weighting of a reborn doll. First, you can start with a cuticle nippers or a nail clipper, but I like to use the cuticle nippers just because they have this flat side and makes a really clean, smooth cut. First, you take the back of the reborn and you get the piece of the zip tie that is large and sticking out, and just try to move it around to loosen it from the cloth. You don't want to cut the cloth. You take your cuticle nippers and you're going to cut that little area that is showing, and just try to be careful and not cut the material. There's the cut. You might have to do it a couple of times just to get it out. And there is the head coming off easily. Next, you want to remove the original zip tie. You're not going to be able to use that again, obviously, so make sure you get another one handy. And we're ready for the stuffing. Make sure you take everything out. So those are the two that weighted bags that I had inside, as well as all of the stuffing. So now I know I want to make these a bit bigger. So I fill my stocking with glass beads and make sure that I make the pouch a bit bigger and a bit heavier this time. It's a larger baby and it didn't feel like much, so this definitely needed to be done. That's the comparison of the two together. Then I make a second knot right on top of the first one. Instead of cutting the stocking, you'll get less waste, and you can reuse this part of the top, fill that part to make a bigger bag than the one that you see that I had originally. So I'm just going to pour some glass beads into that bag as well. Fill that up to the desired amount. And that one I was trying to make a bit bigger than the other one as well, as you can see. Then I'm going to tie the top of this one. Then I go ahead and make sure it's secure. I take a scissors and I cut right down the middle. Then you have two of the glass beads. You fold over the stocking, and you just to have a smooth finish, I like to fold it over because I know it's going to be too small for me to cut again. Then I get the empty head and I start filling it up. So I'm going to go ahead and put in the glass beads first, and just be conscious of where you're putting it, because when you start stuffing it, if you start stuffing the back of the head first, your baby's head is going to go back. If you put the stuffing and the weight in the front, it's going to bobble forward. If you put it at the top, it's going to sit straight up. This is a bigger baby, so I kind of put it sort of in the top, sort of in the back, just so I can have a little bit of a bop, but not too much. Then you stuff the remaining stuffing back inside of the head. I know it looks like I'm using a lot of stuffing here, but you want to make sure that it's completely filled. And I always like to use plugs if plugs are available for the dolls that I am making. Now for the body. Make sure you open up the body, put some stuffing in at first in the bottom. Then you put in your glass beads right in the center. You want to make sure that it's in the center and that the top where the knot is sticking up, so you don't feel that through the body of the baby. It wouldn't be a good feeling. Then go ahead and put stuffing around it. Add more stuffing to the body. Stuff it, stuff it, stuff it. Now I like to overstuff my babies because it settles, but that's more of a personal preference. Then I go ahead and I put in the second glass bead stocking, and then I put some more stuffing around that one as well, just to keep it secure and just so you don't feel the beads as soon as you touch the baby. You want to feel stuffing, not beads. You just want the beads for weight. Make sure that's in the center as well, and just play with it until you can get it nice and perfect, and add more stuffing to the top. Now it's time to put a new zip tie in. Sometimes these zip ties are a little hard to get in with the joints or where the sewing parts are, but eventually you'll get it in. Now, don't pull the zip tie too tight at the end. Just feed it through. Just feed it through. Sorry, this video is pre-recorded. Just feed it through and don't pull it all the way, because you want to make sure you can get your neck inside of it. So then just keep measuring it to your neck and pulling it a little at a time. So I've made the mistake of pulling it too tight at once, and then I had to cut the zip tie, and then I ran out of zip ties, and then it was a whole mess because I had to wait and I couldn't ship the baby. So now I'm more careful with it. Once you make a mistake like that, you don't make it again. So I got it right in there, and you pull the zip tie. Now I use rings so the neck can still swivel. If you're not using a neck ring, don't pull the zip tie too tight if you want the head to be able to move back and forth, because it will not be able to if you pull it too tight. Then you use your cuticle nippers again, and you cut the back of this zip tie off. You want to make sure you cut it really flat up against the base, because if you don't, it's going to stick out and it's going to snag on all the clothes and maybe even scratch you. And just be careful with your paint as well, because you don't want to ruin that either. So make sure that's a nice smooth cut. If it's not smooth and you can't cut it anymore, use a nail file to just gently file that off. And then you're all set. And your baby is restuffed. Now if you want to do the arms and the limbs, you can do that separately. Thank you.